Hey there lads, welcome to the Boys Review, and today we're going to be reviewing Genshin Impact. Now, this is a scratchy subject as I looked over a lot of, the Genshin critique videos, and there's only one that even stayed on the surface without getting, absolutely dislike bombed, and I think that's a good precursor to exactly what's wrong with, the community, but the community really isn't the main focus of this video. This video's focus is the actual game itself, and what do I think of it? Well, after reaching rank 55, I can successfully say that this game is addicting Chinese garbage. It's just not fun after a certain point. It just becomes a grind that becomes ingrained with your daily life, and the more you play it, you feel this false sense of reward. You make all these nice little achievements, and you get all this little progression, and it's just not fun after a certain point. I have a lot of characters built. I have like 4 level 90s, and I'm super proud of my Eula build, but like, what does that do for me? Am I happy with it? You know, what exactly does that make for me? And, speaking of the characters, oh boy, is the summoning system for the characters garbage. It is really bad. Alright, let's start. So, for you need to get 90 summons to get a guaranteed 5-star, which won't actually, be the character on the banner. It's a 50-50 chance. So you could get a big middle finger, or you might not get a big middle finger to the face. And with the amount of money you have to spend, I think it's like $100 for like 50-ish summons, which is atrocious. I mean, that is just not okay. That'll drain your money really fast, because let's say you don't get it the first time. You're like, oh, okay, I guess I'll summon again. That's $200 plus $200, and it's really just, it's a mobile game through and through. And I think after looking at some of the videos and playing a lot of it myself, it really is just a mobile game. And I think if it were to be redesigned a lot, like, a lot of the core gameplay is changed, especially the summoning stuff. The gameplay is okay. It's a little bit monotonous and gets really repetitive with quests. You do the same loop to get the same stuff, to do the same boring daily quests. So you can log it every 30 minutes, but that's besides the point. I think to really improve this game, to make it bearable, is they need to make the pity thing. I think they should drop it down to 50 instead of 90. 50 means for every $100 you spend, you're getting a guaranteed 5-star. And it's still a lot of money. But it feels a lot more rewarding, and it gives free-to-play players a little bit more to work with. Secondly, they need to really change up a lot of the daily quests. I think that the daily quests are really boring, but they're worth it. You get your 50 Primo Gems. Yeehaw. It's not a lot of reward for like 30 minutes of your time, and you'll get on and you'll get into the same rhythm, and it repeats. And I think a lot of the other content creators that made videos on this were short-sighted or didn't play a lot of the game. And I can absolutely admit, some of the story parts are all right. It's fun at a lot of the beginning stages when you don't really know what you're doing and you're just kind of feeling it out. The game is actually a lot of fun, and I think that's how it catches a lot of people. Is it just baits you in with this false sense of security that this is a good game. This is a well-designed game, and it's not like every other mobile game. Except, it still has the shitty mobile game ads, the shitty swipe all of your money mobile game fucking gimmick. It's all just kind of a veil, because once you hit around, I'd say like adventure rank 30, that's where the content kind of hits a wall, you're just not going to find anything unique ever, and it really, just get other free games, like, especially if you have a computer, just get any other free game, like, Team Fortress 2 is in hell right now, but, you can still play it, or you could spend $10 to get, Gary's mod, or Terraria, or something. A game that's actually designed to be a game instead of just, a Chinese cash grab. Now, I will admit that the fighting, especially compared to Breath of the Wild, that's the biggest complaint everyone has with the game. is, everyone compares it to Breath of the Wild, but I think comparing it to Breath of the Wild is just such low-hanging fruit, and yes, it shares similarities. Boo-hoo. You know, so does most other games. I mean, you can make the same argument for Mario games, but that's not really the point. The point is that where it expands off of Breath of the Wild, it does a really good job. Where it tries to just grab and not really innovate, especially with the climbing and the gliding, it feels like you're hitting your face into a brick wall. Where they improved in terms of combat, the combat's actually alright. Besides the really repetitive, boring gameplay as a whole, I think the combat in itself is fun. And artifacts, those tying to combat, and that is easily the worst part about playing this game past, like, I'd say rank 40, actually. It just becomes impossible to, feel any accomplishment unless you get the big dick, super gamer ultra substats on an artifact. It has to be the right artifact for the right character, and it's just such a pain. It's not fun. It's tricking you into thinking you make progress every time you get a slightly better artifact that you have to spend a whole bunch of investment to, and you start running yourself out of Mora really fast. And then, you grind for that one 5-star character you want, or you just fork it for money. The point is that the game really suffers from mobile game syndrome, where it's clearly just really trying to fish something out of your wallet 90% of the time. I think if it adopted a style of gaming like, Gary's Mod or Terraria, or honestly some $20, $40 games on Steam where they don't have, mobile transactions, or they pretend like mobile transactions don't exist and hand a lot more to you for free, I feel like the game would be a lot better. I think just a lot less focus on grinding and doing nothing, and maybe making it so that the game has a bit more longevity, like maybe make the side events stay around longer, or make like a whole different game mode that's a lot more fleshed out, and you can play for a lot longer. You can even make that a bit grindy if you want. Just make the game actually feel more rewarding, instead of it just, being, oh, here's your slightly better artifact, or oh, here's a 5-star that you didn't want, here's all your pity gone, ha ha ha. And now for the ranking. I think Genshin Impact as a whole, it's probably like a 4 or 3 out of 10, probably a 3 out of 10. I think the base gameplay where it expands on Breath of the Wild is pretty damn good, but everything relating outside of that, like the story is boring, it's kind of just a slog outside of the pretty good gameplay. So 3 out of 10 really needs improvement. Thank you, and don't forget, the boys will review